Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and so often do I play MMO, so often do I review fully MMO, which I'm currently doing for Albion Online. Gameplay in the background, and actually, Albion's really freaking relevant right now, too, for this video, because so often I get asked the question, what would be my perfect MMO? And honestly, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect MMO. I don't believe in a perfect MMO. In fact, I went to school for game design, and I have literal game design documents in my Google Docs folder here that shows lots of different ideas I have for MMOs, and some of them are radically different. You know, I don't think that there's any one fully encompassing MMO that will be the best, but I'm not going to cuck you guys here. I'm actually going to give you an answer, and hopefully you guys really get hype about this answer. I want to talk about it. I want to start a dialogue. No, this isn't professionally edited or anything like that. This is just a rant, but I don't think you can really take this too seriously, but at the same time, I really hope to see a game that adds this mechanic, but this is what I'm going to tell you guys. I don't believe in a perfect MMO, but I do want a very particular mechanic that has not been done that just specifically in MMOs would be phenomenal. It would be amazing. It would be fantastic. So what I want, and hopefully I can kind of summarize this simply and then we'll elucidate later, but I want, please listen, please understand, I want players to have the ability inside of an economy-based MMO, the ability to craft and create player or character kits and then be able to sell them. So what I want essentially is for somebody to actually have the ability to truly have control over their craft, over literally crafting weapons and giving those weapons specific attributes, giving those weapons specific abilities, and allowing players to have unique builds based on what you sell them as a crafter. So this maybe is actually sounding kind of similar to Albion Online. Albion Online actually originally kind of had a concept similar to this, but they kind of curtsied the fuck out, tragically. So right now in Albion Online, the weapons actually hold the abilities. So you can actually mix and match abilities by mixing and matching armor and stuff like that. That's kind of cool, but that gives the power to the player, not to the crafter. It doesn't give the creativity of the crafter to come up with builds and designs of a kit, you know? And that's kind of tragic, because originally when the game was in alpha, they kind of had that. There was too limiting of abilities, they were way too specific, and so it wasn't good enough, so they just scrapped it in the end. And the system now is cool and fine, I guess, but what I want in an economy-based game is for crafters to literally be able to use their creativity to create better crafts. I'm tired of RNG. I'm tired of just like some random magical ore that just happens to be stronger, and so because you used it, the weapon is just artificially powerful. I don't care about that. You know what I want? And hopefully this can kind of be explained by this, but you know the complexity of a talent tree, like in League of Legends or World of Warcraft, or the build guides, you know, the skill build or the item builds of MOBAs? If you ever played a MOBA, you probably looked up a build guide, and you probably saw that they're ranked, and you probably saw that some are more popular than others. And imagine this, imagine the complexity of a talent tree slash, I guess, skill build, you know, sort of guide on whatever, you know, Mobify or whatever. Imagine that, except imagine it as an item that you can purchase. So you see this guy's, you know, build or kit. You're like, oh, that guy has a really cool concept for a class. You know, that's why I like Albion, because you can kind of mix and match and craft your own class. Well, you can create your own class, you don't actually sell it, but that's the idea. I want players to be able to sell their own kits. So maybe somebody has this, he designs a sword that does a certain thing that's really good for taunting, you know, really good for deflection and parrying, you know, keeping enemies at bay, and somebody wants that. So really a lot of tanks are gonna look forward to that weapon. They're like, okay, yeah, I wanna use a sword, and you make the best swords for tanks. You design it the best, you have the best concepts and ideas, and I wanna buy from you. I'm gonna buy from your store. And so the argument might be made that, well, then people are just gonna take that idea and then just sell, you know, just sell the weapons like that anyways. Well, that might be true. At least it's a little bit of a level up from just anybody making any random sword. But secondarily, here's the thing. The sword, okay, if somebody crafts a sword, it could be like a scimitar, that, you know, really good for parrying and slashing or whatever, you know, flowing moves. Or somebody could make, dude, there's fucking tons of swords. I'm not gonna go into it. But the idea would be that you make a sword that's part of a kit. You also design, you know, like the armor, you design all sorts of different kinds of things, and there's such complexity. I want to say a little bit more than just a talent tree, but you know the different build guides of like Path of Exile or something? You know, a game where you can actually craft your character, you actually craft their kit. Imagine that sort of complexity, and you can sell that fully to somebody. So maybe somebody designs, you know, basically like an Albion Online. You can actually look up now sort of like guides, like Arcane Mage, right? Arcane Mage, you want to have like Windwall chest plate, you want to have, you know, the Knight Boots with the shields, the shield giving, you want to have different kind of helmets, and you want to have the arcane staff so that you're really tanky and you can keep your friends really tanky and really defensive. And so you can look that up and find out how to build an arcane mage, and that's really cool. But what sucks is when you go in game and you purchase this plate armor and you purchase this arcane staff and you purchase these knight boots, that's not really the crafters coming up with that. That's not the crafters actually selling that to you. They're just selling you the raw, just the armor. There's no creativity in the crafting. There's no craftsmanship in the crafting. The real craftsmanship was from the person you watched the video on Albion for that taught you how to do it. Wouldn't it be cool if they kind of just came together? If Albion just allowed people to sell entire kits, kind of like what they wanted to do? In fact, that's really what really spurred this video. It's just kind of years in the making. Where in one of the development videos, one of the guys explained that they really wanted players to feel that, you know, oh my god, I make the best swords, you know, I'm the best swordsman in my guild, or swords craftsman, and they wanted people to become notorious and famous for certain things, such as crafting. But that cannot happen. You can't really do that in Albion when there's no creativity. There's just RNG progression, you know, you just make an item over and over and over again until one of them happens to be a higher quality. Whip-de-fucking-do, awesome, cool. And then, or maybe you use it out of a higher tier resource. That just doesn't put the craftsmanship to me. To me, I want the ability to, like in Dota, there's a mini game where you can actually go in and select different abilities from different characters and kind of create your own kit. That's super fun. Path of Exile, super fun. And I love having classes in MMOs because then I can kind of customize them and mix and match them and make my own playstyle, make my own stuff. But here's the thing, guys, is what makes it so fun for me to make those playstyles is then I can kind of translate that into videos, into YouTube, and share that with my friends, with my family, and just kind of, it's not just about me playing it, but also expressing that to other people. A lot of people just aren't aware of all the weird ways you can play games. In fact, one of the most popular series on YouTube is like freaking the Break the Meta or whatever for League of Legends. People just sharing weird ways that they play League of Legends that isn't normal because that game allows it. So that's what I fucking want. I want a game that allows people to craft unique kits, unique play styles, and sell that and give that to other players. And I want the craftsman players to benefit from that, to actually become famous from that, to literally become the best crafter because they are ingenious, because they listen to the patch notes and they see the mechanisms of the game inherently, and they look behind the scenes and they come up with all these cool little builds and everything, and they sell it, and they not only fuel the game's economy, but they literally fuel the gameplay of the people that are using those kits and those armors and those things and whatever for their PvP. And it kind of in a way allows players to become developers. And that's what MMOs are all about in a way. MMOs are like, the developers make a world, but the players are the game. That, to me, is what makes MMOs special. And, you know, especially in an economy, all MMOs have an economy in some way or another. But in especially economy-focused sandbox games, please, just give me one that, I don't care if the combat is garbage. Honestly, frankly, I don't care. It could be non-existent combat. Honestly, it just really doesn't need it. Have you played Magic the Gathering? Do you know how fun it is to come up with your own deck builds and stuff like that? Hearthstone, you know, Duelist, these other games, there's not really like action combat. It doesn't matter because you're coming up with interesting and fun ways to play the game and react to other people's interesting and fun ways that they're playing the game. That's what's fun to me. So if I had a perfect MMO, I mean, I don't know. It would have that mechanic. Actual, truly crafted crafting. Anyways, hopefully I explained that right. I know I referenced a lot of weird random games that maybe you haven't played, but yeah. Imagine the complexity of deck building in every single item that's crafted in the game. That would be amazing. And it's sold by players? Whew, that would be good. That'd be real good. Anyways, guys, that's I don't know, just a fun little video I just kind of wanted to throw out there, a little brainstorm session. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have fun. And if you guys would please check out my Albion Online reviews and videos and stuff like that. And I got future MMO videos coming out too. Definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully you are too. And hey, keep the hype alive, guys. I'll see you again next time.